Is that a bird?
No, it's a plane.
Nah, man, it's Captain Kurt.
Oh, wait till you see Captain Kurt. You're gonna be like,
Is out there, but we're going to need to look harder. This is what NASA
We've been
said.
knowing for years that off of the Navy's video of the Tic Tac, it's not just aerial. It goes in the ocean.
Released the Navy video weeks ago and says similar events were reported by 8 other Navy ships in the same area over 3 days.
Mark bearing and range.
The origin of the UAPs remain unclear, and we feel many events remain unreported.
Talk UFO, UAP, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Let's talk about it.
YouTube, what's good? It's your boy, Captain Kurt. Today we're doing something a little different. We're going to be reacting to Ryan's latest videos on UFOs. This is part 1, and I'm excited to hear his theories. So without further ado, I present to you UFO. Let's go.
Alright, let's talk UFO, UAP, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Let's talk about it. Now, if you've clicked on this video, you've probably seen the UFO, UAP hearing they had the other day.
I have to be careful what I say in detail because there is an open whistleblower reprisal investigation on my behalf.
I think it was pretty cool getting to see, you know, how government officials and people in Congress talk about it and be open to it out in the open for everyone to see. My favorite thing about the whole entire hearing was the fact that now this talking point will be approached different and looked at different amongst different groups talking about it all over the world. Whether
Maybe.
Whether it's your front yard or whether it's motherfuckers at NASA. Now it appears everybody from us to motherfuckers who are allowed to fly $50 million jets are on the same page. Keyword appears. Why do I say appears like that? Because
most people I talk to believe that there is something else out there.
Hey, Google what a coup is. A coup is a sudden, decisive exercise of force in politics, and especially the violent overthrow or alteration of an existing government by a small group. If you watched the UFO hearing, you know why I'm saying that. All right, let's start with something simple. The abbreviation change of these things. It's been UFO for...
I'm confused here because let me hear that again.
Coup is a sudden, decisive exercise of force in politics, and especially the violent overthrow or alteration of an existing government by a small group. If you watched the UFO hearing, you know why I'm saying that. All right, let's start with something simple. The abbreviation change of these things. It's been UFO for a very...
I think what he's saying is the organization was able to change the classification of something. And technically, that's like a military, it was a definition. They did what the definition was.
Very long time. Out of nowhere, they changed it to UAP. Now, a lot of people were like, oh, they're trying to distract us and they're trying to cover up the aliens. I look at that as a clue. So UFO, unidentified flying object. UAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon. So they know it's not an object, and now by the physics.
Phenomenon is something that can't be explained, correct? Right? I think so.
It is not flying. It doesn't fly. It's not an object. They don't appear to have wings. They don't appear to have pilots that are the size that we are. It doesn't appear to have fuel, propulsion, a route, a common place, nothing. These things have been known to sit perfectly still in stage 4 hurricanes. It's not affected by wind. It's not affected by liquid. It's not a...
Being from Florida and knowing what a category 4 hurricane does, wow.
Affected by... It ain't affected, okay? Which means you can't build another flying...
Have you ever heard of that asteroid? It's not an asteroid. It's a rock floating around in space. It's not affected by anything either.
The sudden acceleration it experienced couldn't be explained by gravitational forces. If anything, gravity should have been causing it to slow down.
Object that performs good enough to catch it or destroy it. The abbreviation UFO was not correct for its physics, so they changed it. And even what they changed it to is really not the right abbreviation, because we've been knowing for years that off of the Navy's video of the Tic Tac, it's not just aerial. It goes in the ocean. It's aquatic as well, apparently.
At precisely 11 p.m., the unidentified sphere seemingly vanished into the ocean.
Well, splashed. When they say splash, that doesn't mean there was a physical splash. That means this object went into the water, or they suspect it did.
And think about it. How you think that makes, you know, how military people feel if they have nothing to do with this? Probably like, oh, fuck. If it's outmaneuvering our jets the way it does, and they can't catch it in the air, and then all of a sudden this thing's like, fuck it, I want to go in the ocean, bye. Boom! Hits the ocean at fucking 18 G's. What's the plane gonna do?
We ain't getting that. No way.
Hey, submarine, is any of y'all around here? If the plane can't catch this thing, the fucking submarine definitely can't catch it. Look how every military is structured in the entire world. They have different sections for shit. That's why you have the Marines, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, all the different shit. We have it in sections. They have something that is everything at one time. We ain't even near there yet. You know what the crazy thing is? I ain't seen nobody mention anything ever about weapons being on these things. When have you ever heard anyone?
Yeah, that's true. Maybe they're not, maybe they don't want to harm us. Maybe actually it's a form of protection.
Like, yeah, there's a weapon on there. Or I suspect a weapon to be attached to this. 0 times of weapons ever in all of history.
But also, if you don't understand them, you can never understand their weaponry. So maybe there is. We just don't know they exist because we can't see them.
0 weapons. Even all the times our Air Force has claimed to purposely chase the fuck out of these things. Not once have you ever heard them be like, yeah, it fired a bullet at me or a laser or nothing. It's like it's playing with you harmlessly. And you know what
what if back in the day when they were taking people and examining them, now they don't need to anymore. Maybe they know what they need to know. Or maybe there's another wave of it.
Interesting thing about that is that's a human property. That's a human thing humans do. We trick dogs, we think it's funny. We trick babies, that we think it's funny. We trick our friends, play jokes on them, we think it's funny. Why do these things appear to be doing the same exact thing except for, you know, with our fucking world government? And there's different forms of trickery. I mean, people, you know, in a sense, played tricks on people to rob stores. Or played tricks in a pursuing kind of way to be like, hey, it wasn't me, it was someone else. You know, those are all not good things. This thing's not doing that. This is like a playful manner, it seems like, personally to me. All right, now let's look at positioning.
What if it's a playful manner trying to teach us? Like, hey, here I am. Figure me out.
Ability of humans versus these things. All right, so let's go back to the UFO hearing. What do you hear these Navy pilots say? These things ascend and descend fast as fuck. They fly up. It's somewhere up.
We can tell an object is extraterrestrial if it's going very fast.
Up somewhere. So these craft can go from ground level to up in space somewhere in like seconds, right? Now let's look at human technology from ground to up. We've been to the moon 6 physical times. We only successfully done it 5 times. Only 12 men total have been on the moon in
Maybe.
all of history. If going to the moon actually happened in the 60s, from the 60s to now, these stats are fucking horseshit. Not to mention, we got to set up a rocket for weeks and get ready and build it and have people gather around and be like, 10, 9, 8. By the time the fucking thing lifts off, the Tic Tac could have done, you know, went to Venus and back like 20 times. Next thing we're going to compare is the ocean. These things are always around the ocean. They're playing in the ocean. They're above the ocean. They're hitting the fucking ocean at high speeds. We can't even shoot a damn bullet into the water that is an aerodynamic.
There's a definite reason why we don't know everything about that ocean. And I don't think depth, I don't think depth is a problem. I think the pressure is so great, and in space pressure is great. So if you're able to handle pressure in space, man, it's a no-brainer.
Dynamic bullet into the water without it, you know, I mean, if you ever shot the water, you know it fucks the blades. We can't even shoot a damn bullet into the water that is an aerodynamic bullet into the water without it.
Would have been totally eliminated again within 2 to 3 feet or just under a meter of water.
You know, I mean, if you ever shot the water, you know it fucks the bullet up, and the bullet doesn't go that far under. It just kind of gets fucked up. The impact is what fucks it all up. It's a solid meeting a liquid. There's an impact. These things are hitting the water at speeds that should definitely fuck them up. So is it not a solid? Probably not.
Wait a minute. If they could run into the water without being harmed, an asteroid ran into the water, maybe that's how they got here. And the asteroid embedded deep into the earth, the ocean. Yo.
How is it not affected by water? I don't know. It's something that's able to be an aerial phenomenon and an aquatic phenomenon at the same exact time. So that tells me that this thing can be transparent, and our Earth really doesn't matter to it. If it can move through anything, or does matter to it. More than we think. Get it? Matter.
Yeah, I think this is their home, essentially, first.
Probably not, but it's alright.
Yo, I learned that there's atoms. They're not atoms. They're not called atoms. But it's a form of matter that we can't see. Like, they're so... Yo, that's crazy.
And I know y'all have seen the videos of it, like, flashing and, like, teleporting. And if it's doing that, it's doing that for a reason. What process is it doing?
I was just watching a video last night about the Einstein Bridge.
So that if you travel in one end, you come out the other. Even though those 2 points appear in different universes, it's essentially a teleporter, something that allows you to get between 2 distant places instantaneously.
And the way that they teleport, essentially, and when they explained it, they talk about how the light travels, diminishes, and then explodes back. Whoa.
When it's here and teleports, and then it's like over here, and it's showing you, hey, look, I can teleport. It's not doing it for a reason, not that we can see. It's doing it just to show whoever's looking. Just think about it. If they have multiple videos of this thing moving at the speed of light, and there's a streak behind it, and you're talking hundreds of miles in seconds, then what is the point of it teleporting 15 feet over and over? To be like, hey, look, you see me teleporting? Yeah, alien muscles. The only thing I've seen with my...
Bro, I think they want us to understand them. I think that's the end goal.
own 2 eyes on our planet that is a burst of energy that goes and it kind of moves forwards a little bit, but it doesn't teleport. You can still see it, but it's a jet engine on a car. You're probably like, whoa, what the fuck? Look, drag strip shit, okay? And what do you know? The fastest thing we have that can even kind of see them is the jet engine. But even that, a rail car with a jet engine on it has one direction. If it slightly goes off of that direction, you're fucked. Even then, a jet engine on a plane, you can only bank it so much before you're fucked.
Approximately 3/4 of the way around the turn, at 1416, the aircraft banked past 90 degrees, descended rapidly, clipped power lines, and hit the ground.
Damn! The only thing that I can think of that moves the most similar to these tic-tac things and stuff is a cursor on a computer. Yikes. Bro, wait till you see part 2.
Yeah, man, I don't know. Something definitely exists, and I think we lack knowledge and understanding of it because the people that need to really believe it's there are afraid to accept it. I think the oceans, I think there's so many secrets in the oceans, and I also believe that if we put more resources into understanding the oceans, it would help us understand space. But what do I know? Much love. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. And remember, be nice to one another.
Bird? No, it's a plane.
I say, who the best in the game? Captain Kurt reacts. Captain Kurt reacts. I say, who the best in the game? Captain Kurt reacts. Captain Kurt reacts. I say, who the best in the game? Captain Kurt reacts. Captain Kurt reacts. I say, who is doing big things? Captain Kurt reacts. Captain Kurt reacts. I said, who else got the cosign by the GOAT? Captain Kurt put in work. He be really about his folks. Creek Squad showing up, so you know it ain't no joke. Y'all been working hard.